These are the 4 cutting blades on my grinder that I use whenever I'm making fresh sausage or smoked sausage. What I use when I'm making fresh sausage is this. This is a 1/4 inch holes. I find, or some people call it a chili grind size. I find this works better when I'm making fresh sausage. When I'm making traditional smoked sausage, I use this, which is considered a hamburger plate, real fine cut. Works really good for smoked sausage because you're able to get most of the air pockets out of your sausage when you're stuffing it, and you get a very nice consistency. Now these two are really large. They're used for making traditional andouille sausage. Unlike the stuff you get in stores that are mass produced, andouille sausage is characterized by very large chunks of meat, a really rough grind. This one here is a 3/4 inch hole in a stainless steel plate. This is the one I use most often. I find I get very consistent results with it. The chunks are easy to pack, nice and firm into the casings, and I get very good results. This one is basically considered what they call a kidney plate. It works very well on my grinder. I have a number 12 Cabela's grinder. It works really well. I just find the pieces are a little bit larger than what I like, so I pretty much stick to the 3/4 inch grind. At minimum, when you make an andouille sausage, half inch hole plate would be the absolute minimum to make a traditional style Cajun andouille sausage. This is the type of meat I'm using to make the andouille. It's basically just pork butts, Boston pork butts. But what I've done, and they're cut in large chunks because my grinder can take a large chunk. But basically what I did, I've gone through and I've taken out most of the real fatty pieces. You do want enough fat to help congeal and hold everything together since I'm doing large chunks for the andouille. But for the most part, you don't want the real fatty part of the pork butt. I'm going to use that to make regular smoked sausage later on today. So here we go, we're going to do a little bit of grinding, show you what a 3/4 inch grind looks like. So this is what I have for a 15-pound batch of andouille, which is what I'm doing today. And as you can see, the 3/4 inch plate makes some nice, pretty big chunks that are going to compact real easy, get a really good consistency once I stuff them into the casing. Basically, andouille, it comes out to be more like a ham type sausage than a regular smoked sausage. That's the characteristic of andouille. Here's one stuffed link of andouille. What you want to try to remember to do with your sausages, especially smoked sausage, is get a knife, get a little pricker, like a sausage pricker like this, and use it to pop little holes in your sausage case, and that gets all the air bubbles out. That way you won't have the air bubbles show up once you finish smoking. This is my smoker. It's a 1970s model upright freezer that's totally encased in like tin aluminum on the interior. All I have is an 8-inch hot water exhaust going through the top. I've got a couple of thermometers on it, and I'll show you how the inside is rigged up. Inside, you can see the little bit of plastic they had has been removed, so you can see the insulation on the sides. At the bottom, I've got a side burner from an old barbecue pit that I had, used for my heat source, a cast iron pan. which I use to put my wood chips in. This is fired by propane. It's just a lot easier to control the temperatures. Up here you can see I've got some aluminum angle going around. I use some expanding metal when I'm making jerky. I can put up to 8 racks there. And then I use 3/4 inch aluminum angle as my sausage hangers. So here it is. I've got 15 pounds of Andouille sausage waiting to be smoked. I've got the flame on low heat right now. I'm going to I'll close the door, leave the dampers wide open, and leave the casings dry before I really put the heat in the smoke tone. I like a heavy smoke flavor, so I'm going to use a mixture of hickory and live oak today. Normally I'd use pecan, but I don't have any pecan wood available today. Where we live at, some of the older folks actually use sugarcane stalks, which is acceptable, but I don't have any of that either as cane season's over with down here. Alright, I'm just going to show you I'm about 2 hours into the smoke. Running about 110 to 120 degrees on the smoker. I like to run it real slow for the first 4 hours. That way the fat really doesn't melt too fast. And then I'll crank it up to about 160, 170 to do the final cook on it and get the internal temp of the sausage up to about 165. So this is what it looks like. If you can see, it's starting to get a nice color already. And that's the smoke pot with the hickory and the live oak, and boy, it's got a really nice smoky smell coming up. Alright, here they are. 4.5 hours in the smoker. Internal temp is 168. These Andouille are done. I'll just take them out and put them in my cooler overnight, let them chill, and then chill down, let the fat solidify, and package them up tomorrow. So here's the final picture of the Andouille after it's been chilled for 12 hours. Using the 3/4 inch grind on the slices, you can clearly make out each individual chunk, and you can see how the fat is in between the chunk and it compressed really nice. This is some good stuff. You should really try it.